I think rejection is the single greatest hurdle that we as humans face on the path to anything on purpose. Okay, so whether it be career, health, relationships, sports, whatever endeavor in our lives. If somebody doesn't like something we've created, something we've cooked, something we've built, don't like our results, we get cut from the team, we don't get the job, we felt like we crushed the interview, we don't get the job, we audition for something, we don't get it, whatever it is. I could go on and on and on. All of those outcomes take on a very personal feeling. And it is the feeling of rejection, like, they don't like me. They don't think I'm good enough. They don't want me. Whatever it is, that's what it turns into. It starts to just kind of, whatever the scenario is, whatever the form of rejection is, it seeps down into our heart. And when we're by ourselves and alone and we're processing the rejection, we turn into elementary school kids. We really do. And we're just like, they don't like me. They think I've got cooties. Nobody wants to play with me. I mean, that's what happens. So first, let's acknowledge that, shall we? Can we acknowledge that? That happens to all of us? Happens to the best of us? It hurts. Rejection stings. And then we make excuses for it, though. Here's what happens. We go, well, I failed, and it would be silly for me to step into failure again. Now, that's a lie. When you are saying that because somebody rejected you and you didn't get a job interview, it didn't go for you the way you wanted it to go, or Joe, I auditioned so many times for things and tried to get on the air and local radio, and if I just said, you know what, it's not working out for me, doors aren't opening, I'm an idiot to keep doing this. Is that true? That's why we go back to the sweet spot. Did I have the talent? Did I have the passion? Did I have the mission? And the answer was yes, so I kept going. That's why we teach that first stage is get clear, because you will need to retreat to clarity, folks, stage one, many times throughout your journey. And when you get rejected, that's the most important time, because rejection feels like a blow to the soul. It's like it hurts in the heart, but seeps to the soul. Oh, that's good. Somebody should write that down. That's what it is. Rejection. It hits us in the heart and then it seeps down, and it's just this deep spiritual wound where we're like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then we start to make excuses that make sense to ourselves and to others when we talk about why we're not pursuing it, why we're not getting back on the horse. And this is dangerous because it makes a lot of sense. Well, it's going to cost me some more money and time. And you know what? I'm a husband I got a wife. I got 3 kids. I'm the sole provider, and I got to take care. Oh, you're such a good man. You are such a good man. You're a good provider. And so all of a sudden we talk, and we're honorable. And so all of a sudden we make not getting back up on the horse smart and safe. And who among us doesn't want to be seen as smart and safe, Joe? Nobody wants to be seen as reckless. And see, then the lie begins to spin, and it builds and it builds and it builds. And what it does is it becomes this giant okay for us to stay on the sidelines, to not get back up on the horse. So what do we do with rejection? Because it does sting. We have to turn it into redirection. It's not a no. It feels like a no, Ken, come on, Ken. It's a no. I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard a no more plainly than the time I was interning with a sports radio station in Atlanta. They're still there, and the guy who said this that I'm about to tell you is still there.
Let's talk about him.
I'm going to share the story because I want people to know I know what no feels like. So long story short, I'd been on the air with this station. I'd talked my way in there as a free intern. Do you know this story, Ian? I walking off the street. I was running my own company. I was making good money. But I went in and I talked my way through the receptionist and got in the building. It was really audacious, but I got in because I looked sharp and I acted like a normal human being. And I got an audience, so I started interning 3 days a week, 3 hours a day. So I was spending 9 hours a week screening calls for this sports talk station, getting water and Sprite for the host, and eventually got to know these guys. And I said, hey, guys, I don't need any money, but hey, if you ever need a remote reporter for something, I can go out and do, calls. All I need is a press pass. They're like, dude, that's awesome. Let's go. Well, it was against the station's policy, but they didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, nobody's doing anything wrong. I'm on the air and they're loving it. So this program director gets wind of it and he's powerful. And he wants to tell me how powerful he is. So he calls me into his office, and the producer of the show that I was working with 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, he overheard it. The door was open. It wasn't some, And this guy starts telling me how I've violated policy. I'm not a full-time employee. I can't get a press pass. He's disappointed in the host. You can't do this. I appreciate you've been a good guy. You're doing good stuff. Everybody likes you, but you can't be on the air anymore. And I press a little bit. For all the reasons you just said, you can't make an exception here? I mean, is this really? Like, I'm not asking you for money. I'm never going to ask for money. I just want to keep doing it to get the experience so I can make connections and do this. He looked at me and said, you got to stop pushing me, Ken. It's not going to happen. He has no reason why that policy is there. And I'm sure there might have been a good reason. This is what he said to me. And I'll never forget it. He looked at me and he said, you need to give it up. He goes, dude, you're in your 30s. You don't have a degree. You don't have any experience in this. And frankly, you don't have the talent to even be on the air in this market. We're a number 8 market. You don't have that kind of talent. I'm going to tell you something, folks. Up until that statement, I knew I had the talent. But when he said that, it hit me like a ton of bricks in the chest. And all of a sudden, I felt like a fraud. I felt like a reject. I was humiliated. I was hurt. I was angry. I had a cocktail of emotions just exploding in my heart. That was rejection. You don't have the talent to make it in a number 8 media market. Was he right? No. But did I think he might be right for a little while? Yeah, it hurt. It stung. I don't want to feel that ever again. I'd worked so hard. I put in the time, volunteering, stuff I write about in the proximity principle, stuff I tell you folks. I want you to understand, I've been there. I'm only serving you what I've had to cook and eat myself. But hear me on this. Here's why I tell the story. It stung. And I heard a very clear no, and it felt like no. But a couple days later, I began to redirect. What's the next opportunity? What do I learn from this? I can't rely on somebody else to give me a job. I'm going to have to go make my opportunity. And that was the breakthrough for me. And thus led to the Ken Coleman Show eventually. And then the journey here to Ramsey Solutions and the rebirth of the Ken Coleman Show. I couldn't rely on another program director to give me a job. I had to go do it. So what did I do? Listen, I turned that no into not here. Listen, this is so good, folks. I turned that no into not now. I turned that no into not here at that radio station. I turned that no into not now. And I redirected. And that no, turns out, was the best no that I've ever heard. Simultaneously, by the way, the most painful no I've ever heard, but also the most valuable no, because it redirected me from sports when I was already questioning whether or not I really wanted to do sports broadcasting every day anyway. And now I do this where I'm broadcasting to help people in their personal and professional lives. I'm broadcasting to help you. Yes, you. Looking at me right now, you. I'm broadcasting so that you will believe what I believe about you, that you were created to fill a unique role. This world needs a contribution from you, and it's your contribution, not what your mom and dad want you to contribute, or your uncle or your coach or your pastor or your grandmother. Your contribution. What's burning in your chest because you know you want to give it to the world. I believe you have that, and I can help you figure it out, and I can help you get there. And so to take that no that day to be able to help you find your yeses, was worth it. And so that is how you can turn rejection into redirection. It's not a no. It's a not here, not now, not yet. You pick your phrase and you keep on moving.